Have you ever felt like your life is on pause, but the rest of the world is fast forwarding without you? You wake up tired, you move all day, but when you lie down at night, you realize you haven't gone anywhere. This is the story of Jason, and maybe, in some small way, it is your story too. Jason lived in a second-floor apartment in Phoenix, Arizona, where the heat rose from the pavement like a ghost. He was 29, old enough to feel the weight of time, young enough to still be scared of it. He worked at a car wash near a busy highway, from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. His world was water spray, wet cement, and the smell of cheap soap. He scrubbed tires. He dried windshields. He watched expensive cars drive away to places he could not afford to go. When he came home, he didn't have energy. He had emptiness. His apartment smelled like old pizza boxes and trapped heat. He would drop his keys, fall onto the couch, and pull out his phone. It was automatic. Scroll, scroll, scroll. Videos of people winning. Videos of people living. An hour would pass. Then 2. The blue light from the screen was the only thing illuminating his face. Jason had a dream once, a real one. He wanted to be an EMT, a paramedic, years ago, when his grandfather collapsed at a family dinner. Jason had stood there, frozen, helpless. He hated that feeling. He wanted to be the person who knew what to do, the person who could stop the chaos. He had even bought the massive EMT textbook. It sat on his small kitchen table now, covered in a thin layer of gray dust. It looked less like a book and more like a tombstone for a life he didn't have the discipline to build. One scorching Sunday, his older sister Mia came to visit. She brought her 5-year-old son, Sam. The boy ran around laughing until he stopped at the table. He touched the dusty book. His finger left a clean streak on the cover. "Uncle Jay, what's this?" Sam asked. Jason grabbed a rag and quickly wiped the book down, his face burning with shame. "Just something for work," he lied. Mia didn't say anything. She just looked at him. She looked at the dark circles under his eyes, the closed curtains, the mountain of soda cans in the bin. Later, they sat on the small balcony. The air was dry and hot. "You look heavy, Jay," Mia said softly. "I'm just tired," Jason replied. "I feel like I missed my bus, and now I'm just walking." Mia pointed to a plastic pot in the corner. Inside was a basil plant. It was withered, brown, and crunched over. "You still have the plant I gave you?" Jason rubbed his neck. "Yeah. I keep forgetting to water it. I'll fix it this weekend. I'll give it a huge bucket of water." Mia shook her head. "You can't fix it with a bucket, Jay. You'll drown it." She stood up, went to the kitchen, and came back with a small glass of water. She poured just a little bit into the dry soil. "It doesn't need a flood," she said. "It just needs a sip. But it needs it every day." She looked him in the eye. "You're doing the same thing to yourself. You're waiting for a day where you suddenly have 8 hours of energy to change your life. That day isn't coming." "So what do I do?" Jason asked. "Stop trying to be a hero," she said. "Just be consistent. Do small." That night, after they left, the silence in the apartment felt loud. Jason looked at the EMT book. It felt like it weighed 100 pounds. His brain whispered the usual excuses. "You're too tired. You're stupid. You'll never finish it." He almost turned on the TV, but then he remembered the plant. Just a sip. He sat down. He made a deal with himself. "I will read one page. If I hate it, I can stop." He read one page. It took 3 minutes. He felt silly. One page? That's nothing. But he didn't stop. He took a yellow sticky note and wrote the number 1 on it. He stuck it to the wall above the table. The next morning, the alarm rang at 7 a.m. The urge to hit snooze was physical. It pulled at his eyelids, but he saw the sticky note. 1. He sat up. He drank water. He read page 2. At the car wash that day, the soap still smelled cheap. The heat was still unbearable. But Jason had a secret. He wasn't just a car washer today. He was a student. It wasn't a movie montage. It was hard. On the 4th day, withdrawal hit him. His brain craved the dopamine of video games. His phone buzzed with friends inviting him to play. He stared at the phone. He looked at the book. The book was boring. The game was fun. He almost caved. But he looked at the balcony. The plant still looked dead. But the soil was damp. He turned his phone off. He read page 4 and page 5. He started building a chain. A calendar on his wall began to fill with red X's. Each X was a victory, not a big one, a quiet one. The silence in his room was terrifying at first, but slowly, the silence became peace. 3 weeks in, he failed. It was a Tuesday. A customer at the car wash had screamed at him for missing a spot. Jason came home furious. He didn't want to read. He wanted to forget. He ordered greasy food. He played video games until his eyes burned. He fell asleep on the couch. He woke up at 3 a.m. He saw the calendar. The empty square for Tuesday stared at him like a missing tooth. The old Jason would have quit. The old Jason would have said, "See? You can't do it. Give up." But Jason looked at the plant on the balcony. It had one tiny, pale green leaf, pushing through the brown stem. It hadn't died just because he missed one watering. Jason washed his face. He sat down at 3:15 a.m. He read his page. He learned something powerful that night. Missing a day makes you human. Getting back on track makes you a winner. 6 months passed. The sticky notes covered the wall. The plant on the balcony was bushy and green. The day of the EMT certification exam. Phoenix was raining. Jason sat at the computer. His hands shook. He looked at the questions. Trauma response. CPR ratios. He didn't need to guess. He could hear the words in his head. He had read them one page at a time. He had whispered them while scrubbing tires. He clicked, submit. He walked out to the parking lot. The rain felt cool on his face. He checked his phone. The email popped up. Passed. He didn't scream. He didn't jump. He just leaned against his old car and let out a breath he had been holding for 5 years. He called Mia. "I did it," he whispered. "I knew you could," she said. "You just needed to start." "No," Jason smiled, looking at a puddle on the ground. "I just needed to water the plant." Jason is an EMT now. He works long shifts. He sees pain. But when he walks into a crisis, he is calm. He is the person who knows what to do. He is no longer a spectator in his own life. If you are listening to this and you feel stuck, if your room is messy and your dreams feel heavy, don't try to move the mountain today. Don't try to fix your whole life by midnight. Just water the plant. Read one page. Do one push-up. Greatness is not a sudden leap. It is a quiet, boring, daily decision to keep going. Your future is hiding in the smallest thing you are avoiding right now. Go do it.